Hello and welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Brady Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it is a dreadful boss, a horrible workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you've had none of those things, chances are you're the problem.
You are the problem today. We are joined by a comedian, musician, and recently being sued person. Steph Broadbridge, everybody!
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No,
How
I thought
exciting.
it was important to have you on the podcast because I've represented myself in court 12 times. So I can maybe give you tips on how to get through it. I don't know.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, but mine are only parking tickets. I've never done IP law, so I'm fucked.
Oh, okay.
I can't actually help you.
Yeah. Can't help you. No one can help you,
Okay, well,
Brady.
my two tips are always, number one, tuck your mullet in.
So do that.
Well, you've done that already, so
Well
you've nailed
done.
that. Correct.
Great.
And then my second tip is when the judge comes in, always stand up and call them Your Honour. And then they're like, whoa.
Wow.
That's a big thing.
It's a low bar for guys that look like you, isn't it?
I know. They're like, God, he can speak politely. I've never actually thought about that. They're not expecting much out of me, are they? Fuck. And you're like, I've got a barrister. I'm like, what's that? Must be nice.
Yeah, well, you've tucked your mullet. Thank you. I was worried you were going to have it
Yeah.
outflowing. We can't have two mullets on the one show.
No.
We never have. We never will. How are you?
Yeah, good. Just sort of, I don't know.
Busy week?
Busy week.
Bit on?
Bit crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you could talk as much about this because we're going to ask you on anyway. So the fact that this is blown up is like you can talk about however much you want to talk about or however much you just – and we can edit out whatever you don't want to talk about. Okay, but –
You're currently being sued by Ray
No,
Gun.
I'm not being sued.
You're currently –
incorrect.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
Legally, potentially.
Yeah.
So tell us –
From Ray Gun, from you doing Ray Gun the musical.
okay, yeah. What's the idea of your new show, your 2025 show?
So I wrote a musical
Yes.
with someone's nickname in it.
Yep.
And then there's some trademark issues.
Because this person was
the
upset that you
nickname.
were doing this show that was potentially about them.
I don't really know what's happening. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
but
fine.
it's just a bit weird.
It's a
So
weird moment. But
yeah, at the moment, what I'm trying to do is negotiate so that I can still do the show, but it's not getting in the way of anything that she wants.
right.
That's the plan.
And have you ever done a show before that has had lawyers come after you?
No, my last show sold 56 tickets for the whole run.
Mm-hmm.
So
What? Was this
I
in
would have
Melbourne?
loved lawyers
Some
to come and see it.
yeah.
Anyone, really?
Lawyers, garbage man, just anyone with
Literally.
money.
Yeah.
Was this your run in Melbourne?
That was this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty small time when it comes to ticket sales. So no,
I
this was
thought-
not on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I didn't
right.
expect this. So, it didn't. What I really loved was when you posted about like. You know how you guys say if you just work really hard, people will turn up. And you put this really transparent thing up, like this is how much it cost me to do the show. This is what my ticket sales were, and this is whatever.
Yeah.
I loved that, and I want to say
thanks.
like all the comedians, like all new comedians, we were like, oh my god, that's really nice to see that because no one ever shows how hard it is. They're like,
No, and like you
sold out
shouldn't.
again.
It's not a good move to do that because you don't want to give off that it's difficult because that's not fun
No.
and that's not going to help ticket sales. So I love that people don't do that. But also I like to shoot my mouth off, obviously,
good
as
for
we've
you.
now
Yes.
figured out.
Yep. Well, the
And-
lawyers reckon that's what that's.
I have a
I've
tendency-
actually always known this about you, Steph.
Yeah.
I have a
We've been working
tendency
together
to
for
just-
many years.
I say the thing and then I'm blindsided by consequences as a result of saying
I'm sorry. I lit this house on fire and now the house is on fire. What the
Why is
fuck?
everyone
Pretty much.
upset?
So yeah, it's my fault. I asked for it, but I didn't. But yeah, I do that a lot. I do
Have you always
dumb
had,
shit a lot.
So would you say you've got a short fuse?
No, I just don't realize that other people aren't as like honest isn't the word, I guess, but like I don't realize why people aren't honest about stuff because like people think things through, they plan and you know.
Be a bit more calculated, maybe.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to do this because there could be consequences to my career. It could look
Sure.
bad for me. It could annoy this person. I go blah. And then afterwards, someone's like, you know, that's bad for your career and for this. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's bad. I think for
You don't know,
on this
yeah.
side of things, but on the comedian side of things, I was like, "Fuck, that's awesome, thank you."
Oh,
Because
well.
you're having people go, and I'm guilty of it, being like, "This sold and this," because you do want
Yeah.
it to make it look like it's
Totally.
all going fine. It's not. You're not checking.
The
ticket
worst part
sales.
about that stuff, because
Exactly.
there's two sides to it, because you have your comedian friends on your social media and other comedians who you work with, which sucks, but you've also got fans out there.
Yeah.
And when I'm on my social media, guess what? I'm not
You're
talking to
talking to the
comedians. I'm talking to
fans.
my fans.
Exactly.
And it sucks as a comic because I'll see 30,000 other comics, but some people only follow 2 or 3 comedians. So they
Yeah.
don't see 40,000 posts about the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, your fucking ticket sales.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to them, but
Which is smart.
which
That's
is
what you should be
smart.
doing.
But yeah, it's also like sometimes you're like, fuck, this doesn't look good. Like it looks fucking lame. Like, oh, look, I'm selling out every night. It's kind of shit. But also,
Yeah, but it is the move. It's the
yeah,
right move.
But then it's also, I love that you post your wins and you post your losses.
Yeah.
Because I've had some nights in big fucking rooms that I've fucking sold fuck all.
Yeah.
It's happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no one posts both sides of the scale, which I
Yeah.
think's nice.
Without whinging. You don't want to whinge either.
No.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that.
I never get that vibe from your
No, you're not a fucking
post.
whinger.
You're not whinging.
But it's a fine line between this is the reality of what happened and no one's coming to my show and I work so hard. Like as soon as
Yeah.
you
Oh,
I
start.
hate that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Actually, we'll talk about that. Yesterday when Brady was saying that there's this one comedian who will be like, no one's coming. I put in all this effort and no one's
My
coming. and
mum's
it's-
coming. She's
yeah.
dying of cancer.
Yeah,
Oh,
real
she doesn't
sad.
respect me. It's always like this long-winded. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
And then
And I
then
get trapped. I'm like, I better go down.
I know.
yes,
I
and
say.
so all these people go, and then the next day he's like, oh, it sold out. It was great. Thanks so
Killed
much
it.
for
Probably the
supporting
best
me.
comedian in Australia.
However, tonight I've sold no tickets, so I need you all to come because my auntie's coming, and I need her to respect
How
me.
many family members have you got? Cunt?
Yeah. Well, if you've got that many family members, maybe they should come to your show. You know?
So brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
The lengths we'll go to just to get a bum on a seat.
I know.
But also, I don't think general people understand how hard it is to get
Yeah.
people into a fucking show.
Yeah.
Like being a comedian and selling out is so much work, and there's so
Yes.
much behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And particularly, even when this whole thing that's come out and they're kind of stopping you from doing your show.
Yeah.
I was stressed out because I know how much work goes in to an hour show.
to make
Yeah.
You
one,
have put and in her mind, whoever the lady, whatever, she's not stoked about it. She thinks you're getting up there and just going, ooh, doing a little wiggle and
Maybe,
going,
yeah.
I'm silly. You're like,
Improvising
you've gotta-
something.
no one can.
Nah, it's
and
12
you're an
hours a
incredible
day.
comedian as well. It's going to be a well-written show
Yeah.
that goes for a fucking hour.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's an 8-person cast with a 4-person band. So
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
the admin as well.
Yeah.
The admin that's gone into organizing 12 people that could make one day.
Is insane.
Yeah.
And also, it wasn't at the fucking opera house. It was like a fucking 80-seater, wasn't it?
It was like it was in underground in a pub. Like
Which where we recorded our live show, the
Yeah.
IG Comedy Club, which
Yeah.
is a beautiful venue.
it's great.
Yeah.
And I love Kinsella's, but yeah, it just it was so small time.
And then it's
I
like,
think it will still happen.
imagine getting a call from, and I don't know if you can talk about this, I can cut it out, but if you got a call from a lawyer and they're saying, hey, you need to cease and desist or whatever they say, you'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm doing a gig to 50
Yeah.
people. What do you mean she's coming after me or whatever? I'm just...
It was
and
friends
everyone-
and family and people that I used to do amateur musicals with 10 years ago at Barara. That's who was
Yeah.
coming.
And also,
It's not a
bizarre.
theatre.
No.
It's like just your mates and
Yeah,
it's a little small
just
show.
mates. Yeah,
And
I
the
want
whole-
notes on stage. We were going to sing the songs out of the book. Yeah.
It sounded
The
like a little
whole
fun
world,
time.
the whole
thought
world
so.
has been making fun of this person for the past however many months. And it's been there's countless memes, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
I was on her side at the
Yeah.
start, and you know, after this, I flipped.
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of it now.
Totally.
I'm
it's
done.
like you got a sense of humor or you don't.
Yeah.
So like, and I know there's like you're not, and especially because like it just seems so cowardly to come for
Particularly
you.
someone in the arts
Yeah.
who's only, it's a 40-seater or 50-seater.
Yeah, she's lost my vote.
Oh yeah, I know you
She's
can't
dead to
comment
me.
too much on
Well,
it, but it's a very
she's
stressful
dead.
time, and I know how hard you work at comedy, and you're a very funny comedian. It just annoys me that you couldn't have your chance to express comedy, and that's
But
what
I
we
think
do in
you still
Australia.
will. I reckon.
Thank you. I hope I'm hoping that we can still get around it and come up with a solution that works for everyone.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well,
And all the publicity that this has created gets bumps on seats.
Hope-
man,
hopefully,
I'm going to
yeah.
come see it now because I'm so
Oh,
excited.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Just to do, and I'm fucking paying full price sitting in the front row, and I'm fucking singing along. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's such a big cast and because ticket prices are pretty low during comedy festivals, even if I sold every ticket, I was still going to lose like $5,000.
No.
This is a passion project.
Yeah.
This was never meant to
So
make money. This was
funny.
just like me wanting to travel around Australia with my friends and sing dumb songs.
So it's coming from a great place as well.
So like selling out would still mean losing money. But I wanted to do it.
This could be the start of
And I still wanna
something
do it.
enormous. I think you will. I think it's going to be like.
I
think
hope
it's
not.
Gonna,
I hope I get to write something else.
no,
yeah, you must.
You know,
be
but,
quite sick
no,
of it,
I mean
aren't
like
you?
more of a starting point because you're an incredible stand-up comedian who I'm a big fan of.
Thanks.
But I think you need more eyes on, and I think this could be a thing that pushes you up
Yeah.
for next year, and you get more people coming back
Yeah.
and just enjoying your sense of humour.
Maybe. That'd be great. We'll see. Who knows?
Well, didn't Eddie Perfect become really big from doing a musical about Shane
Warnie?
Warne? Was
I
it
think
Shane
so.
Warne? Was it?
I think
is that
Eddie
how he
Perfect was
started?
pretty big before that.
Yeah.
Someone
Was
once
he?
said I looked like Eddie Perfect, and I was like, I wish. He's a very good-looking man.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Really?
I see it.
Yeah,
Okay. Brett Perfect.
Brett Perfect.
Bretty Perfect. Right here.
My
Giving
God.
yourself that nickname is so funny.
It's fucking awful.
So
All right, okay,
upsetting.
we're moving
I'm
on.
really
now,
upset.
so you are on the Work Hates podcast. We love to talk to people about their shit jobs and things they've had. Now, I know you've been working in child daycare for a long time.
I worked there for about 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a graphic designer. I thought.
I do that as well. Comedy doesn't pay very well.
Correct, especially in Sydney, we found
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Sydney comedy
Yes, shout out
pays
to the
nothing.
Sydney Comedy Store.
Oh.
I will not be performing there.
Yeah, Steph, I didn't say that. Steph,
No,
and I
we
are
love
fine,
it. We
we're
love
fine.
it so much. Thank you so much.
Fuck off.
Well, I'm doing a show there this year. I need
Oh,
them
are
to
you?
love me.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I'm
that'd be
not, so I
great.
don't care.
Yeah.
I can just say whatever.
You can
Yeah,
do
it
whatever
doesn't
you
pay
want,
very
pretty
well
perfect.
across the board.
No.
So yeah, I had a few jobs. I don't work in childcare anymore, but I still do
didn't even know
graphic
that you did
design.
that. When did
Yeah.
you work in? When did you quit that? Years ago?
No, 2 years ago.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that that's what you did. Okay. How did,
So fun. I
Was
love it.
real? Well, okay. So you did childcare for 3 years.
Yeah.
And was that your worst ever job?
No, that was probably one of my best ever jobs.
Oh, you actually did
Yeah,
love
I love it.
I
Did
thought
you
were
love it?
tricking
Love
me.
it.
I did it for a short period of time and I
You did
hated
not.
it.
You worked in a
Oh.
bus with a broken arm.
No, but I had to drive the bus and then I would do 4 hours or 3 hours each window of looking after the kids. So I'd pick them up from school
Yeah.
in the bus. I had a broken arm. I owned the company. I'd drive kids home with a broken arm, very dangerous. And then I had like a little forklift thing. So I'd drive the kids back. Then I'd have to like play with them outside for an hour. I'd just shoot basketball and kind of ignore them, and they kind of like that. And then
Yeah.
I'd play basketball with them.
Yeah.
Like how old are these kids?
I don't know, they're like that fucking high or something.
Like 4, 3.
Someone that big.
I don't know what your job was, Brett. It makes me
There
so
was just kids there, and I was helping. Maybe I wasn't even invited to be there. Maybe I was just
No.
hanging out.
Just picked up kids from a school.
It sounds legal, doesn't it? Right? I had a
Yeah.
broken arm, and I was picking up kids from the school.
The forklift was confusing. I don't know how that all fit into it.
No, so I had a forklift. It's true. So on a forklift, they have a little smaller wheel on the actual wheel, so you can turn it with one hand only
Okay.
and operate it.
Yeah.
So they put one of those on the bus wheel for me, so I could operate it with a broken arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did
that's
you
crazy.
have to do that when you worked in childcare?
No, I don't have my driver's license.
Oh.
Or my forklift license.
Oh, okay.
Double coward.
More important. More important. And so you did like childcare?
Yeah, I loved it.
So how come you quit?
Kids
Oh,
are
because
the
it's
best.
hard for touring and stuff.
Yeah, you just can't because you've got to be there till, well, it was like before and after school care. So
Yep.
you've got to be there till 6, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the kids are still there, there has to be someone
You can't just leave
there.
them.
So you can't be like,
well,
I've got
no
a
one
gig,
loves
got to
you.
go. So
Sorry, guys. I need to perform to upwards of 8 people in a pub
exactly.
who won't ignore me. I've gotta
Yes,
go.
and
Bye.
it's a
I'm being
2-hour
sued, guys,
train,
bye.
so I have to leave at 5:45.
2-hour train.
Oh, whatever, I'm getting all the RSL gigs. Go to the end of a
Oh,
train
yeah,
line.
yeah.
That's,
Good. Okay,
that's most
good.
of my gigs.
Yeah, yeah. But what
Yeah.
about that? You could do the morning ones, but I guess that's like 6 a.m. till.
Yeah, I
Hell.
could, but I didn't want to.
Fair enough. Okay, so we got rid of childcare.
Yeah.
Bye. And now you're doing graphic design.
Yeah, just like posters and stuff.
Yeah, you're brilliant at it. I always think
they're fun.
I always think of your one with your head open.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
And all of the stuff coming out. Yeah, it was really great. Did you do many posters this year?
I'm doing a couple this year.
Great.
So yeah.
Awesome. And then what's the worst ever job you've ever had?
The worst ever job, I think, I've been thinking about it. I've had so many. Like there were a lot of contenders. I did all the usuals, the Woolies, the Maccas, the Target.
you?
I did all those.
Oh wow, you had all of them.
I did Boppin' Babies, which was where I just played nursery rhyme songs to like newborn children.
Oh, because you for the music, like
Yeah.
so you had ukulele
Yeah,
or
yeah.
guitar out, and you're just playing music to them all day.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my! Have I told you I got rejected from Coles?
What?
Coles
What are
wouldn't.
you talking about?
Coles wouldn't hire me.
What?
Why are you saying that? Like that's surprising.
No, but it was
You
3
look at
years
you.
ago. 3
Yeah.
years ago.
Do you look like that?
Yeah, I've been on TV and they wouldn't fucking hire me, right? So I went to so this is when the lockdown was happening, right? And I was like, well, I'll get a job because Coles.
Oh, yeah.
They'll hire people. I
Oh,
got
heaps of people. Remember they
Yes.
were like, we're hiring like 900 people in every shop or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
So it was at the warehouse on the forklift. And I was like, fuck yeah, I got a forklift ticket. I love
Perfect.
driving the forklift. 12-hour shifts, perfect. Love 12-hour shifts. Good cash, great money. Done. Right? Get there. And then someone got us a job. Your boyfriend got me the job. And
What? Okay. I'll
do
work
you know
out
what the
who-
riff is now?
No, I don't know who the riff is, but yeah, okay.
All right, well, I'll tell you after about this one. It's really good. Bron's boyfriend helped me get the job, and flame emoji, and sorry, helped me get the job. Right, this guy helped me get the job, and so I rocked up, and it was like COVID, and they go, "Oh, okay, so there's 400 people are going for this. You know, there's 100 jobs." And I was like, "I'll get it. These guys are fucking spuds, whatever." And they made us go into this room, and it was really claustrophobic. And I was like, oh, you know, this COVID's just happening or whatever. And I was like, well, I don't want to be in this room. I was like, how long are we in this room? I was like, oh, just 10 minutes or something. Just got to fill out a form. I'm like, no, you're here for 8 hours doing an unpaid induction or whatever. I said, I'm not sitting in a room with 400 people. I said to ladies, I'm not sitting in a room with 400 people in the middle of a global pandemic just starting out. I think she was from Drake Industries. I'm happy to fucking say that name and get sued. Great. And I said to her, I was like, this is
Steph isn't
unsafe.
getting
I'm not
sued.
doing it. And she comes up to me, this lady, and she goes, you only get one opportunity at Coles.
Whoa.
And I went, in my head, I was like, I'm still Brett Blake. I didn't say that. But I was like, I reckon I'll get fucking more than one. I reckon I'll get heaps when I go there to buy fucking milk. And I was like, I'm off. And I just fucking walked out. I was like, you fucking
You
can't.
only get one opportunity at Coles.
And that's so not true. You get heaps of opportunities
I
at
feel
Coles.
like you get Coles opportunity twice in your career.
Twice?
Once on the way up.
Once on the way down? Wait, which point am I at? Am I on the up or down?
Neither, mate.
I'm on the plateau and I've still got the opportunity.
Well, yeah,
But I can't.
you only get one opportunity.
You only get
at
one
Coles.
opportunity at Coles. I'm like, have a look at the cunts you got around here. I reckon I got heaps.
That's
dude.
brutal.
I was like, man, it was
sorry.
2 years ago, 3 years ago. I was like, fuck. Oh God.
I'm sorry about that, Brady.
Yeah.
Brady,
I
not
really
so
wanted the job.
perfect after all. Not
I know.
even Coles. If only they knew. You should do that like Pretty Woman scene, like go in with bags from Woolworths. Big mistake.
Huge. And the funny part is, I've filmed about 3 Coles commercials since then. You fucking dickheads. Anyway,
She doesn't care.
did lighting,
She's
wasn't in
not
front of the camera, but
watching.
whatever. Yeah. Still counts.
counts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had lots. Yeah, that's a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Just in that, like I've not worked at any of them. Mine was like Donut King, and I would have loved to have worked at Target.
I reckon Target would have been good.
Target was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I've got slight tism, so like you put me in front of like 200 bras and some hangers and I'm happy.
See, I love stacking shelves as well. There's something about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love doing the price tickets.
Yep.
I loved printing them, and I love that feeling. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's so
the
good.
feeling when you flick the ticket out and you put a new ticket in.
Stock taking,
Loved it.
I was like in heaven.
I
with
hated stock taking because I hate counting and
Oh, no,
caring.
I loved it.
But I love making things look
Hate
neat.
counting and caring.
Counting and caring.
That
yeah.
should be your LinkedIn profile.
Hate counting and caring.
Brady Perfect
Yeah.
hates counting and caring.
And counting and caring, and he only had one opportunity at Coles.
Yeah.
But so you loved it.
I love that one, but okay, the worst job I think would have to be when I worked on reality TV, I was an usher
An usher.
for the reality TV.
Oh, like getting people into seats?
Yeah, so I would be in charge of like one section of the audience.
What was a reality TV show?
There was a couple. I worked on The Voice and I worked on So You Think You Can Dance.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you had to
Think
get
You
all
Can
these
Dance.
boomers and fucking... And to be honest, and I don't want to throw shade, but people who go to live recording
That's
are fucking...
Yeah.
Jesus. They only get one opportunity at
Well,
Coles. You know what I mean? They're fucking...
They were working there, Brady.
Yeah.
You feel so guilty because they're really excited.
Yeah.
For the lamest shit ever.
Because, well, there were like pretty big celebrities on when I was doing it. There was like Kylie and
fuck,
Scary
Kylie Minogue.
Spice and,
All right. Yeah, I can kind of get it.
you know, then it got lower after that. But there was like people that they were excited
got
to
to
see.
Danny's level. Got Danny
Hey,
Minogue.
she's huge.
Okay.
And then, so they were so excited, but they didn't know it was going to be an 8-hour day for them where they couldn't go to the bathroom. And so you just saw the light and excitement just drain from their eyes. And my job was literally to stop grown-up people from going to the toilet.
What? That's a horrible job.
That was the job. It was so not like we had
Stopping people from pissing, but they need to piss.
but it's being televised, and my section was behind the judges. The other thing was the people they had behind the judges, they called them PPs. They had to be pretty people behind the judges, which didn't mean hot. It just meant like not
Violently
people
ugly.
that come to watch tapings. So it's like,
Oh my
they'd be like,
God.
you need to move that person
Really?
behind Kylie.
Did they say that?
Yeah, and then
Get
I'd have
fucking
to,
Shrek out of there,
yeah,
dude.
and I'd have to go up and be like, I'm really sorry, but your top is actually clashing with what Kylie's wearing, so we're gonna have to move you.
But it's actually because you're fucking ugly.
You're the worst
It was
face
so
we've ever
brutal.
seen.
Can you put a plastic bag over your head because it's destroying 3 cameras and they're about $4,000 a pop?
So yeah, I worked there, and then my old singing teacher was actually one of the contestants on The Voice,
Oh my
and I didn't
God.
know that, and he clocked me from the stage when he was doing his warm up, and he was like, "Oh, Steph, hey!" And then he's like, "How's it going?" And I'm like standing there as an usher, holding bags of like chips.
Piss.
So yeah, so good, man.
This is and also, but
love
he's on
that.
The Voice, so it's just like, dude, you're probably doing worse than me.
No.
If you think it's gonna
Absolutely.
change
No.
your
You
life.
were winning there.
Yeah. So
How'd he go? Did he do all right?
he came second.
That's pretty good.
He's very good. He's a very good singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So worst job, because I remember
That would be. Did they abuse you? They must have abused you. When you were like, they were like, I just think go to the toilet, and you're like, no, you can't.
Well, they don't ask, obviously. They just get up and you have to be like, I'm so sorry.
Sit down.
I need you to sit
fuck
down.
Did
Yeah.
anyone piss himself?
I don't think
I would
so.
have for sure.
I would have pissed myself for sure.
Yeah.
I did.
Like they
No,
did
we're
get toilet breaks, but they were very small, and it was like you could only go 4 at a time. So people would be like, I need to go to the toilet, and then I'd be like, okay, and then I'd be like, okay, toilet break for 6 people, but then like you'd have to keep track of that, or it wasn't fair, and then they'd start being like, no, I asked 20 minutes ago.
Oh my
It was
God.
so crazy.
I'd walk out. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about this shit show.
Who was doing the warm up for it?
It was Eastgate.
Oh yeah.
I love
Yeah.
these games.
He's very good at that.
He
He's
was
very good at it.
phenomenal at the job.
Man, him on The Voice doing the warm up because he's an incredible singer as well.
Yeah.
He would fucking rip that.
Yeah, honestly, watching him do that like was part of the reason I wanted to get into comedy because he was just
Really?
he was so in control of that room.
Oh,
I
so
think
before
he's
you
re-
even started
This is
comedy,
before I
you saw
did comedy.
Dave Eastgate doing it. Dave
Yeah.
Eastgate, by the way, he's an incredible comedian, but he also does like this heavy metal character as
Yes.
well. It's insane. He's got a great voice on him. He's a great actor. He's in
so
fucking
funny.
everything.
I think he's
in
so
the
funny.
TV series The Territory at the moment. He's great in that. He's great in everything.
Yeah,
And you saw that and you're like, fuck, I'm doing comedy.
yeah.
I want to be Dave Eastgate.
No, I don't
Oh.
want to be Dave Eastgate,
No.
but I just wanted to be able to do what he could do, which
Yeah,
was
right.
control a room like that
Yeah.
and just be energy and be exciting and vibe and
And be electric.
yeah.
But I worked on, was it not Deal or No Deal? What was the one with fucking Eddie Maguire? Millionaire Hot Seat or
Hot
some
seat,
shit?
Yeah.
So they were training me to be the techno crane operator. So you know that crane that comes
This is
in?
making shit up now. Yes, she's famous. She's been in the news heaps. You don't need to make up words.
It's called a techno crane, okay? Because it's a crane that comes in and out, and also doesn't matter.
Why is that techno?
Because they got old school cranes don't go in and out on the line. Whereas if you see Millionaire Hot Seat or whatever, so you know it's like do do do, and it zooms in.
Yeah.
Or it comes
That would've been
down
you.
and zooms.
That was you.
No, I was assisting the guy. They didn't give me the job yet. Also, I said I can't do the
You
job.
didn't have one chance. A
I had
techno
one
crane.
chance. I fucked it. No, but you know why I said I couldn't do the job? Because they
Why?
were training me on it. And then they go, so every time you, depending on the audio cue you hear, is what maneuver you have to do with the crane. And there's 9 maneuvers.
Whoa.
And the guy's like, if you hear bum, 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 you got to do this one. If you hear this, and I went, I can never remember
It's
that.
like choreography.
Yeah. And I was crane operating at the time, and I thought I was okay at it.
Yeah.
But as soon as they said it was like that, I was like, I'm not going to remember any of this audio shit.
Yeah.
And it's a $200,000 crane. It's so expensive, and it can fucking kill people. If you do it wrong, it launches.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, but it's a ton. It's like a ton fist that comes out. It can fucking kill you. And I'm like,
ton
I'm not
fist.
doing that. And I was like 23 at the time. I was always hungover. I was like, I'm going to kill someone. Fuck that. But anyway, my point was I was doing Millionaire Hot Seat, techno crane, and the people sitting in the audience, and they were like, man, you get to meet Eddie Maguire. And there's all these fucking nufties in there or whatever. And you meet Eddie Maguire and you get a free lunch. And the free lunch was like Mrs. Mac's pies that had been in a pie warmer all day. There was like 80 audience members, but there was only ever 30 pies.
Oh.
And people were like, where's my pie? And they're like, oh yeah, it's coming. It was never coming.
Oh, so just starved to death.
Just fucking they're stuck there for 4 hours.
Yeah,
there was never enough pies.
Never go to a taping of a show.
Or people
Yeah.
would steal extra pies. You'd see a big guy and he'd put like pies in his pocket and shit. He's taking them home.
Mongrel.
All these fucking dumpsters, dude.
Yeah, when you see, I went and watched the live show of Thank God You're Here, and that was
Well, the comedy
so
ones
good.
keep coming to those ones. We need the
No,
audience.
it was really good. It was
They're
really
okay.
good.
The comedy ones are actually
even
pretty
question
good.
everything.
Yeah, question
being in the
everything's
audience
fun.
really fucking fun.
It's so
Yeah.
fun.
I actually had a ball in that
Same.
one. Yeah,
I've been in the
yeah,
audience
yeah.
there. It's fun.
It's actually better than
so
the TV
quick as
show.
well. It's like an hour and a half.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's
The comedy ones I'd say go to.
Yeah.
The fucking dancing, boring ones, who gives a fuck, you know?
don't go to
Yeah,
those.
no thanks. Yeah, but the comedy one was quick, but it was still long. It was 4 hours,
Wow.
and you can't go to the toilet whenever you want. But
Yeah.
it was like, it was funny. It was good. Like, it was obviously a funny show, but I can't imagine doing it for 8 hours for a not funny show. Oh.
Well, Lomas was telling me, because a good friend of the show, Ben Lomas, who we've had on before, who does Crowd Warmer, he did Ninja Warrior, and they filmed for like 14 hours
What?
straight.
And the audience is there the whole time.
And will they move the audience depending on the challenge for the fucking cameras or whatever? And he's got to keep them entertained for 14 hours. He's like, I was like, man, they need to pay you like
$1
$10
million
grand a day, because that's
How
insane.
much do you reckon you get
Mental.
paid for that? For that?
Oh, I don't think it's a lot. I think it's like a normal day's wage, maybe
like-
$1 grand or something,
No.
or maybe like
Absolutely
$800. I don't
no.
think they paid him heaps for it. But I
That's
was like, dude, that's the
straightforward.
hardest job, because not anyone can just do that job.
I wonder how much
No.
Eastgate got paid for The Voice, because that's a big job, and
But he can pull it off. He'd be singing and dancing. Did he get his
he's
guitar out?
sprinting around.
Yeah, I don't know if he got the guitar out. He definitely had backing tracks though. I remember that. It was pretty impressive.
He's like drenched in sweat. He's
Yeah.
like hugging Mel B.
Yeah, he puts everything into every performance
Yeah.
he does.
And it truly, it's like one of those places where you go, like I'll do, what's it called in Queensland? Deception Bay. I did this gig with him. It was like this school fundraiser, and the saddest people in the entire world came, and it was like they were sad, and they were old, and they were just grey and miserable. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this, Eastgate. I don't know if this is going to be very fun. And he goes, it'll be fun. It'll be exactly what it is. And then he got up and brought everything he had. And this is the only time I've ever seen him not do well, because the audience were just immovable.
Yeah, but he doesn't change. He's still
He
in it,
does
you
not
know?
change. He commits, and he got off and he goes, they're pretty hard, aren't they? And I was like, great. And then if I got like a snicker out of the audience, I was like, I'm crushing here. Because if you compare it to Dave Eastgate, who is just fire. Would you ever do warm up, Steph?
oh, I'd be the worst.
Why? I think, because
Nobody wants this energy
Yeah,
Oh
true.
my
in a
gosh.
space. I'm like a fun alternate when everyone else has been fun.
Yes.
So we've had a lot of fun, a lot of vibe, a lot of charisma, and now we're going to hear from this bitch, and that's fun.
But I think.
But we don't want me
But
starting.
you're very unassuming on stage, which is my favourite part
We
about
don't want
you.
me
Yeah.
setting the tone.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I
yeah,
should
yeah.
not be the tone.
Because you come out and you got your sometimes you got the ukulele, like you're very like cutesy. I don't want to say cutesy, maybe that's disrespectful or whatever. But a nice looking lady, and then you fucking drop some bombs, and dude, it fucking folds
Yeah.
me.
Oh, 'cause
I think you're the only person I've known who, and I've done roadshow, and I've said
Yeah.
stuff before. I think you got a warning,
Yeah.
told to calm down
I did.
really.
on the same leg I was on.
That's hilarious.
I know.
And he didn't get a warning. Just
No,
me.
and I said cunt twice.
Oh my god, what the hell did
I
you
only
say,
said it
Steph
once.
Broadbridge? Oh, but
There was a
didn't
guy
women say
climbing
it?
onto the stage.
Yes,
Yeah.
And you said, "Get down, cunt."
I said, you're being a cunt.
he was being.
He
a
was
cunt.
being
But he
a cunt.
was. That is
Yeah.
actually bang
That was
on.
accurate.
It was-
I
you correctly
did.
called
Well,
them
that's
over.
the only time I've worked with you, Steph, is when we did. I think it's the first and last time I worked with you was when we did roadshow
Yeah.
together. And
That was fun.
and this was after, right after Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and you were like tired from the festival and you really didn't like enjoy it, and I'd not worked with you before, and I was like, oh, because I think you'd said, I don't think I want to do comedy anymore online, and so they were like, which is fair.
I'm
We
such
all
a
had that
drama
feeling.
queen.
No, but this is like your knee jerk reaction. Like you're like, you feel something, you put it there, and you're like, great.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna come. And when you turned up, I was like, oh, great, she's turned up. And we're gonna see because I'd never worked with you. I was like, I want to see what you're like, and because you are so timid,
But you're not.
timid and tiny and polite, and I was like, oh, this will be interesting. And then you go out, and then you start. You don't ever scream or yell, but it's the content is always so surprising. And because you were opening, and I was like, oh, okay, because I reckon opening's the hard one. The closing's easy because they're fine, but opening's the hard one. When they were like, oh, Steph will be opening, I was like, okay, all right, well, I want for a timid person, that's an interesting choice. The content was like not a single bit of it is timid, and you tore the roof off every single venue. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I understand why she's first. I understand.
But I love when sometimes when Steph goes out and a bit kills, I'm like, good, I can be dirty tonight. I was like, if Steph gets away with it, I'm gonna get away with it, because I'm normally the crookest one on. I'm like, I'm 20% behind that. I'm like, hell yeah. And if they go with you, I'm like, fuck, we're on for a perler.
But like, I don't know. I don't think it's rude.
No, it's not rude.
don't
It's
even
good
think
comedy.
they're
It's just
rude.
you're good at comedy, and I enjoy it. You know.
Nice. Yeah, I like those gigs. Those rural ones are fun because they just don't have any. They're not checking those crowds.
Yeah.
They're not checking to see if anyone else is laughing.
Yes, this is so
That's
true.
actually a really good point.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not checking if the person next to them
Is offended.
They're just
so
laughing
true.
at what's funny, and they're the best crowds.
Yeah.
I think some of your jokes are my favourite. One of your jokes about the autism, how you were saying,
yeah.
oh my God, you were like, there was people like, oh, everyone now has autism. I'm butchering it. I'm so sorry.
That's
But
okay.
I've
I've so many
retold it.
jokes in pubs. The anal
Oh my
sex one
God.
all the time. Anyway. Sorry, this shit on your dick? I tell that one at the pub all the time. Anyway.
Okay. So there's, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But,
it's a banger.
it's a
you
really
know?
good joke.
I always tell it to my mates. I'm like, man, you got to hear this one.
But the bit, I left that roadshow and I told so many people, I was like, Steph's got this joke that has just stuck with me, and it's made me look at old people differently. Because it's that thing where you were like, you mentioned like everyone is talking about how autism is so readily diagnosed now, and everyone's like, oh my God, everyone's got autism now. It's so different. The olden days are so different. Like, but you know, you look at our granddads, and they all had that. They're like, what? They had to sit in the same chair every dinner. You know, it's like, oh yeah, they all had it, and I've absolutely butchered it. And I hope,
No, that's okay.
I hope that bit.
I think you made it better.
Absolutely didn't. But I was like, oh yeah, all old men have their chair, and they all have to sit in the same way,
and they
things
all
are-
eat the same thing on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yep.
It's so. I was like,
Dude, I've
fucking
never even
hell.
thought about that, because my granddad
Yeah.
was psychotic. Like, that's his chair.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
at our family table, like you sat in the same place at dinner on the dinner table. That's your fucking chair. And then in the car, like
Yeah.
you sit in the same chair. Everything's a fucking same. Like
Yeah.
my granddad, dinner was 6 o'clock at night. Sit there and smoke. He'd have a
Routine,
beer.
baby.
It was the craziest routine.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing none of the work. It was nanny running around for him.
Of course.
Yeah. So that bit, I think you're one of the best joke writers in the industry. So I'm really excited about your 2025 show. So we know your worst job ever. I would hate that one, by the way, because sometimes people come on and they're like, the worst job I've ever had was I worked in a supermarket and it was got busy, and we're like, weak. Like, oh, that sounds really hard, Josh Earl. Just joking, he's so great. But we had, but we also ask, what is the worst?
Also, Josh
gig?
Earl pissed himself at a
Yeah, I know.
supermarket,
That's why
which
it's
fucking
true.
rules.
Yeah.
He full pissed himself because a lady would not let him go to the toilet.
No.
His boss wouldn't let him go, and he's like 17 or 16. And Josh Earl, imagine what he looked
he's
like.
such a sweetie.
He's such a sweetheart
Yeah.
already. And imagine him at 16, he'd be like, yes, ma'am, or whatever, and fucking pissed himself. He dropped a big 2-litre Sprite or something.
No, he waited for someone to have to put through something that could look like piss.
So he could piss
So
himself.
put through like a case of like creaming soda or sarsaparilla or whatever, and so he brought a whole case of it and then just dropped it on the ground and pissed as he dropped it.
So he could go, because they would not let a fucking 16-year-old go to the toilet.
Yeah. So okay, fine. Yes, his job
Oh
was
my
hard.
God.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But
Insane.
you had it. I'd rather piss myself and cover myself in sarsaparilla than do the job that you.
Yeah,
just
I want to be
mentioned.
responsible for other people pissing themselves.
That's right. As long as
You want the
someone's
position of
pissing.
power. You were like, you can
Well,
relate to it. I was like, yeah, he should have waited.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting in the way of the recording.
Exactly. Is
Yeah.
Kylie
We're
there?
actually kind of we're trying to sell some fucking
Yeah.
mangoes
That's
over
right.
here, going right.
But we asked people about the worst gig they've ever done.
Yeah, again, so many contenders for this one from me. I've had smashed glass because the person before me got a glass thrown at them.
Whoa, was it
I've had
pet?
No.
We just
I've had a glass thrown at me on stage.
Yeah, wow. No. I had a guy like put in a headlock because he tried to grab the microphone. Oh, that one's on my Instagram. That's still up.
That
That's
was
still up?
wild.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got footage.
Yeah, it's so good.
He was trying to grab the microphone when you're performing.
I'll put it
yeah,
in the
and
stories.
someone grabbed it and put him in a headlock.
Where the fuck was this gig?
ID Comedy Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's actually, the footage is wild. It's so great that it was filmed.
It's so funny. But anyway, no, worst one was Secret Garden Festival. I reckon I was like maybe a year and a half into comedy. I was booked to do an hour. I did not have an hour. So
And we've
I
all been
brought
there.
3 friends and we were going to split it up.
Great.
Got there. It was in a tent, no sound barrier.
Yep.
We were supposed to be Disney karaoke, but there was a scheduling issue and Disney karaoke wasn't happening. So I had an audience on acid there to do Disney karaoke.
This is a music festival.
Yes.
Okay.
And instead, it was me, a year and a half into comedy, trying to do comedy.
Oh my God, and they're just trying to do Disney karaoke.
And
And
were
they're on acid and they're
on
confused as to
acid.
what's going on.
It was so weird. So we were doing punchlines and they didn't laugh, but they would clap because they were trying to be supportive.
Oh no, it's like going to slam poetry and they click
Yeah.
when they agree with it.
I hate the clicking thing.
I'll do it for the rest
I
of my
hate
life.
it as well.
Please.
But
It's like
yeah.
such a little, I don't know. It's a
And
little-
then the whole time there was just someone playing Toto, Africa by Toto on loop, just the whole time. I don't really know why or how.
Oh my
It's like a
God.
fever dream. Like I can't even believe that all happened. Yeah.
So, see,
Holy shit.
We made $110 that we shared between 4 people for this gig.
And a whole
free
hour.
accommodation?
No, we drove back home afterwards.
Oh my
So $20
God.
in the pocket,
Yeah.
minus fuel.
Yeah.
So you're
$0.
30 in the hole.
Had to
Yeah.
wash my mum's car because it was covered in mud. Yeah. So
and then,
funny.
Did anyone kill? Did someone do better than anyone else on this gig?
Nah, so we tried to turn it into like open mic karaoke. So it was like, did anyone have a joke they've always wanted to tell? And like they'd come up and then that was always, it didn't work because they'd like grab the mic and wouldn't let go of the mic and just wanted to like share their acid
Suck on the
feelings.
mic. Oh
And-
shit, yes.
So then we'd be like,
Fuck, that's
okay, thank
funny.
you. And like try and grab it off them.
Dude,
That's so
this is giving me
funny.
flashback trauma. I've done so many gigs,
Oh,
like at
really?
Strawberry Fields, Nimb and Mardi
Yeah.
Gras. They're the fucking Worst audience. Nimbin Mardi Gras. Everyone there can go fucking suck a dick. I hate them. I had the worst 3 gigs of my life at Nimbin Mardi Gras.
What were you expecting?
Festivals are
that's-
They
terrible.
hated me, which is fair.
Yeah.
We don't. Me and people who go there do not.
Look the same.
We're not the same.
You're not chill.
No. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I'm not chill. It's on me. Yeah.
So they wanted stand-up comedy at like a
Stand-up comedy and then
Weed
like
festival.
So okay, I'll tell you who was on. So it's Sydney comedians. So Kyle Legacy was on.
Yes.
Kyle Legacy smokes weed, chill. People love him. Marty
he's not
Bright
chill.
was
Yeah.
on. Marty Bright's a very good comedian from Sydney.
yeah, great.
Smokes weed as well. He got up. He took it. He had no shirt on, and he fucking read a poem that he wrote that day.
beautiful,
And
they
people loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. I go out, I was like, anyway, these cunts are fucking nerds, blah, 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 blah. Nothing for like 15 minutes. Next
you
day I was like,
headlining?
what?
Were you headlining?
It's
just on the lineup.
Actually, so day 1 I was headlining, day 2 I was second on. They hated me that much. I was like, they're like, we're still going to pay you the same. It's fine.
it's
Also, I was
brutal.
promised an ounce of weed a day in cash, and I got the cash, but they still owe me a fucking ounce of weed. Anyway, so I bombed 3 nights in a row. The only gig I did well, and one night there was a guy dressed as a mushroom dancing with his iPhone, and then we're like, I was like, I'll shoo him off the stage about to start. I was like, hey mate, don't fuck off.
Oh, not scheduled. Just
Doing it.
just random.
Yeah, he grabbed the
Just so
microphone,
good
turned the
time.
microphone. It was in a fucking tent with no light.
Perfect.
Helpful
Yeah.
for stand-up. Oh, yeah, also, I actually have a full joke about it. It's one of my favourite jokes ever written. There was a memorial to a dead kid in the corner of the stage with candle lights.
Oh no.
And it had something to do with anti-vax as well at the time, before vaxxers for the COVID shit. On stage, a photo of a fucking dead kid with candles. I was like, this is going to help comedy, isn't it?
Oh, no.
I brought that up, thought it'd be funny. Actually, it was funny. So the third
So
night...
you highlighted.
Third night, I just lost my mind at him. I was like, fuck you, fuck these people, fuck that marijuana leaf that got up here singing like a dickhead, and Marty with his shirt off reading a shit fucking poem. I went to town. I was like, who puts a fucking photo of a dead fucking kid on stage? That's the only time they liked me. They're like, yeah. When I lost my mind at him, I was like, I fucking hate everyone at this festival.
Yeah, I love when you lose your mind.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's pretty funny.
is
I've
always
lost it
funny.
again. Yeah,
It's like when your mum hits the roof and all you do as a kid, you're just
Yes.
trying to be scary, but all you think about is this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
and that's the only time I did well at Nimbin. Yeah, they fucking hated me.
Yeah, music festivals. Like I was
would
at
never
the
do it.
Splendor in the Grass, the one that got flooded as well. That was also brutal.
And that's when
Did that
you
suck as
stayed,
well?
because you weren't staying in a cabin. You stayed.
We were staying in tents, but our tents got flooded, so some people had to sleep like backstage, just in mud.
Disgusting.
In mud.
In mud.
Oh, this is the one where you were saying that like the headliners were they came from
The
their
headliners had
cabins.
hotels.
And of course, the comedians, they would have given us tents or just
So, yeah,
thrown
and
us on the
everyone else
ground.
had tents, so they would like turn up just in like pristine, like white sneakers.
runners. Oh no, it's so bad. It's like, come on, mate, read the room.
we're
Put
like-
gumboots on.
You're dying in
Tents and throwing
piercing.
like mud and like
I
who
would
knows what
hate
else.
it.
Man, that year is so funny
So
because
funny.
I was meant to do that year, but then something else came up, and I was
Thank
like,
heavens.
they don't pay heaps over there, but it's just a good
No.
fun.
Yeah, it's
And I was like,
fun.
I got to take this corporate.
Yeah.
And then I looked at all the photos of like people swimming in their own shit, and I was
Yeah.
like, sucked in
This is
cunts.
well, a bloke died.
What?
A bloke died from like
meningococcal.
poisoning.
Meningococcal?
Yeah.
Oh, was it meningococcal? I thought he had like poisoning from the mud.
Oh,
Or maybe
maybe.
it's different.
Fucking
It
hell.
was-
Yeah, it was really
It
bad.
was wild.
Is this our Woodstock? Only one cunt
Yeah,
died.
and yeah. Oh, we've just made it sad. There's a dead kid in the corner with a candle.
Yeah, put a memorial up there and then do your comedy, you fuckwits.
Oh god. Okay, so I would have never done a music festival, and I will happily never do a music festival. It's no good. It's
I was
too
not
much
invited
going on.
back the following year, and I think that was because of my negative attitude about the whole thing.
But how could you hide it if you're covered in mud? If you're gonna be,
I
who's-
wasn't stoked about it. I was not being like subtle.
This is fucked. You're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also,
Old
I
people
was
have
fine
autism.
with not being invited back, to be clear. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
but also if you're put into a situation, which we often are as comics,
Yeah.
you're like, mate, the bare minimum I want is a dry bed.
Yeah.
I sleep, I dirt bike, I'm happy being a grub.
Yeah.
I need a fucking shower. It doesn't have to be hot. I need a shower at some stage.
Yeah.
and I need a kind of a clean bed in a 3-day window. You pick
Okay,
when that happens.
princess.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a fucking diva.
Oh,
hey, man,
my
I just want to wipe the shit off my balls or whatever the fuck it is.
Why is this
I don't know. I meant mud, but now it sounds like I was having gay sex.
I had
Hey, I'm a different guy at a music festival.
I had the Gold Coast run off the back of that.
Oh, so you wanted to kill yourself twice?
Shit. So I
Oh,
did a whole
God.
Gold Coast run for the first time.
Oh, for the first time.
First time with a suitcase full of muddy clothes, just staying at Josh's house.
Did he lend you his?
Oh no, it was like I washed it and stuff, but it was just it was like the worst.
Yeah, that's a pretty low point. That's a huge low point. How was your Gold Coast run? The Gold Coast run is notoriously pretty grim.
It's grim, but I've had some of my best gigs. It's
Yeah,
work. It's
I
like
love-
comedy, and also you don't.
Headlining's probably the easiest spot on that lineup, to be
yeah,
honest.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to open or MC, but headlining was fine.
Man, I always have a good time, but there's always one in there that's really hard, and you
Yeah.
don't know which one it's going to
Yeah.
be. But that's like every comedy gig. But you get a full week run, and it pays
Yeah.
pretty decent. So
Yeah.
I'm always stoked to do it.
No, they're good.
Okay, all right. Well, I haven't done that. I've only hosted. It was when I was living up there. I would only host, and I would see people coming up. But sometimes the gigs would be like,
Oh, there's some of the
Sorry.
coolest stories ever that's happened in comedy,
Yeah.
like, a meth head running across the stage naked and shit. But that's just the Gold Coast, though. You know what I mean?
Gold Coast is wild.
It's
The
so
Avenue.
fucking
Did you
wild.
do the Avenue when you were there? Was that
I think
what?
so. Yeah. I can't remember.
I think a comedian's been punched while he's been on stage.
Yep. He
Yeah.
probably deserved it. He probably
Yeah,
got it.
I think it was Matt Ford. And
Oh,
this
I
guy,
love
this
Matt
guy
Ford.
comes in. He goes, "Hey mate, I don't like the fact that you're making Aboriginal jokes." And he goes, "I'm Aboriginal," and the guy still punched him.
That isn't very inclusive. Is it?
No, he's like,
Oh,
it's too
I'm talking
inclusive.
about. I'm not mocking him. I'm talking about my family as an Aboriginal man. And he's like, "Don't like this. Nah, you're racist." You're
Oh
like,
my god! There was a gig up there called Runaway Bay where it was like you could see the pokies, you could hear the pokies. The pool table was supposed to be closed, but it often wasn't. So it'd just be
Great.
these deros playing pool, and the pool that would be louder than the mic. So the people, it'd be like, "Oh god, there's hardly anyone in there." And I loved that gig. I don't know why. I think it was because it was so bad it was good for me.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so funny. This is so funny. And watching people walk, I loved watching the comedians walk in and go, oh my God, is this actually it? Yeah, this is it. This is absolutely it. And then, watching people like come from Sydney or Melbourne,
Yeah.
walk into that and go, fuck, are you serious? I do 20 minutes. I go, yeah, you're doing 20 minutes. To who? To the people playing pool. They're not listening, but have a go. And so it was super grim. But I one time I said to like this girl was playing pool, and I was I was hosting. There was a new person on stage, and she really struggled through the whole thing because they were not only playing pool, but they were like talking and laughing and cheering when someone got one in, and I was like, oh my God. So when I got on stage, I was like, can you guys put your pool cues away because it's supposed to be closed. There's just some people doing comedy here. And the girl, like I thought, because I was just in teacher mode, I thought they would be like, oh my God, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
it's a Gold Coast, dude. They've all got 8 packs.
Yeah. But it was like 4 blokes and 1 lady, and the 4 blokes all went, sorry, yep, sorry, like, oh, yep, no worries, and put all their cues down. But she went, yeah? Or what? And I was like, or I'm going to get really upset. And I was terrified.
Because you've got nothing. You're like,
Nothing.
or
What was I going to do?
you're going to the principal's
I
office.
know. I was like,
Yeah.
you. And she goes, are ya? And I was like, yeah. And the whole room.
And you're not backing down as
I'm
well.
not. I can't.
I know you can't. Once you got 1 gear, you got it.
Oh, and she was like, and the whole room was kind of like looking to the back of the room and then looking to me and looking to the back, and I was like, please fold, please let me win this. I need this, because even the new comedian standing aside looking at me like I was a hero, but also worried for me because there was a meth head ready to punch me, and I was like, and that's it, okay? And she went, whatever, and then she left.
Yeah.
Nice, Bronny for the win.
But then I was like, I can't ever go out of this building.
No.
So I live there now. No, but I was like, fuck, how am I going to get to my car? I ran to my car at the end of that gig. I was like, I'm cool. And someone goes, do you need to walk? Me walking there? I was like, nah, I'm fine. Honestly, no big deal. Do it all the time. I fight meth heads, no big deal. I walked out the doors. And then I sprinted to my car, got in the car, locked the doors. I was like, I'm never coming back here again.
Man, I said to a guy in an audience in Perth once, I said, mate, do you think this fucking mullet's fake? As in, like, I'm going to fucking knock you out if you keep talking. And then he's like, yeah. And they had to kick him out because he wanted to fight me. And then I was like, yeah, well, fucking, like, you know, I'm going back at him like I'm a hero. Gig finishes. I'm like, where's the emergency exit? And I'm like, below the stage like a cow. And I'm like, dude, this guy would flog the piss out of me. I've got a big mouth and a microphone. I'm getting the fuck out of here, dude.
Oh, man.
I was like, man, I'm not going to fight this guy. He's huge.
Who are we up there? It's not.
No.
It's not us, is it?
Well, it isn't.
Yeah.
You have to win. You're tough on stage. You deal with a lot of people who are like a real turd.
I love when they call
Mate,
you
you're
out.
tough on and off stage. You're in the fucking the biggest legal dispute in Australia at the moment. No.
Yeah. It's also so cool.
No
It's
comments,
So
no
cool.
comments.
No comments. So cool.
That is nearly our time. So, where can
Is you
people?
a therapist? And
Time.
that's just $220.
It is our
Thank you,
time.
Steph.
No. I mean, I'm trying. I was trying to be more professional with
Hey,
that
you're doing a
timing.
great job, Brady.
Thank you, Bron.
And
You're
everyone
stressing
loves
me out
you.
now. I'm trying to be a
You're
more
doing a
professional
great
podcaster.
job. Okay,
Now, Steph, where can people find you on social media and come see the new show, which hopefully happens?
It will happen.
I am at Steph Broadbridge on Instagram.
Please give Steph a follow. She's an amazing comedian.
Would love that. Venues,
TBC.
Yep. But I'll have all the information on there when
it's going.
Yeah, and if you're ever like bored, like what? Just wait, just hold your horses, go into Steph's page. Something dramatic will happen.
It's gonna be
she's
awesome.
quitting comedy. She's coming back. She's in a lawsuit.
You're
Someone's
always up to something. You
There's
know what I mean?
someone trying to bash her on stage. There's always something happening.
Brett's
on
getting
Steph
choked out while
Broadbridge's show.
trying to grab the microphone and be funny at a comedy club. I'm like, guys, get me up there. I got a great riff. And you're choked out.
This show, I actually have a really good feeling that this show is going to be.
It's going to be amazing, dude.
hope so.
Yeah.
I'd love it to go ahead. That's
will.
my goal for it.
That's our goal for it as well.
Yeah.
Guys,
I'll eat
that's
my
all I
hat
want.
if it doesn't.
Thank you very much for joining us. If you're not already in the
Thank
Patreon, please jump on board and give us a little subscribe and help us out. If you are around and this show happens, make sure you go see whatever it's newly called, The Musical by Steph Broadbridge. It's going to be great. But until next time, thank you and goodbye. I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets. Kill me.